My name is Juan Vides, and I'm the founder and host of Winning on Wednesday. WOW is a virtual networking platform that brings together between 50 to 80 members weekly to share ideas and discuss their business and get to know each other. WOW encourages the building of relationships before doing business. I often say people do business with the know, like, and trust. Today's guest, we have Janine Bolon. She's always loved figuring out how things worked. A scientist from the very beginning, she craved to dig into the mysteries of life and understanding why things are the way they are. After working in the pharmaceutical industry for 15 years, she dropped out of corporate America to homeschool her 4 children. She has always had a side business in her life and shares with other business owners and creatives how to manage a well-lived life of children, family, friends, clients, while not suffering from burnouts. Her 12 books, 87 online courses, 4 podcast programs, and syndicated radios all express her desire to express her routines with others. It's so much that she has done. It's like wow. And anyway, welcome to the show, Janine. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thank you. Thank you for coming for our show. And I would like to always start the conversation. It always starts with where did it begin from the beginning, the very beginning. And let's start with your folks. What did your parents do for a living?
My father was a Navy Seabee, and so I traveled around quite a bit with him as he traveled about. He was a Vietnam veteran. And then my mother was a nurse, and she was very good at her job. And so both of my parents worked on and off while I was growing up.
Wow. I just want to say thank you for your family service. Always thanking for our freedoms that we don't take that for granted. And thank you for your family service. And like to say that you're a brat, as they say. And I guess that's a good terminology, if I'm not mistaken. It's a good thing to be called a brat. And I learned that by you telling me that story.
You're right. Being a Navy brat or any military kid that somebody says, oh, you're a brat, it's a subculture of the military that a lot of people don't know about. Is we're awarded pins by our father or our mother, whoever is the active service personnel, as being because we travel with them a lot of times and we are deployed with them, and because we volunteered for the military life without really having a voice. And so that's why we're honored those brat pins.
Wow. Well, again, thank you again. And so with the traveling, with so much traveling when you were younger, what did you want to do when you were like 7 years old? Like, what did you have any ideas what you want to grow out? I mean, you must have traveled a lot. You must have a lot of experiences.
Right. I always often had that question asked of me when I was younger, which is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And a lot of times I would just name whatever I thought the other person wanted to hear, because I had no idea what I was going to be when I grew up. I did know that I would be in front of people. I did know that I would be in the healing arts of some kind, but overall, I really didn't know. Even to the point when I got into college, I thought I was going to be a veterinarian because I wanted to be in the healing aspect of things. But my life, like many people talk about, you get into college and realize all of the avenues that are available to you, and you start making some decisions at that point.
Wow. And did you have any role models that inspired you, or anybody who inspired you today?
I had so many incredible role models. I was surrounded by good quality people. And when you're in a military life, it's very structured and there's a lot of discipline. And when I would see firsthand what would happen to people who did not stick with the rules, I mean, it was very evident. They were the ones out digging ditches and doing manual labor. And what I learned very early on was I did not want to be a part of that. I did not want to be doing manual labor my entire life. I have done that, but it wasn't what I wanted to stay in. And so for me, it's all of those adopted uncles, brothers, what have you, that I had from the military that taught me how I didn't want to have to work physically hard because I saw what happened to folks that had that kind of lifestyle. So there was that. And then there was also Sam Walton. I was lucky enough when I was 15 years old that I was able to meet this guy that I thought was a farmer. And he happened to wander onto this friend of ours farm. We were living in southern Missouri at the time. And he started chatting with me and I started talking to him and he gave me some golden nuggets for business. And that's one of my best role models I ever had, was being able to meet Sam Walton face to face.
Wow, that's a wow story. The show, wow story. It's like wow. Are you the degree you're doing? Is that what you're doing now? What you're majoring in?
Like so many people know, I was trained as an analytical biochemist. The biochemistry degree was very fresh, very new at the time. It was part of the Food for the 21st Century program at my particular university. And so I was trained in that and was in the pharmaceutical industry for 15 years. But I've moved beyond that quite a bit, and I am now running a broadcast company.
Wow. Wow. Is that some of your hobbies? Did it start like a hobby or interest, or do you have any hobbies or interests?
Well, I do have hobbies and interests, but the broadcast company kind of literally fell into my lap. The whole process that got me into radio shows, doing things with my voice, being able to interview people was just because of my natural curiosity, I think, as a scientist. As far as my hobbies and interests, I live out here in lovely Colorado. I absolutely adore looking at the mountains, but my hobbies are very much with my hands, being crafting things with my hands. And so being out here in Colorado is delightful because we have a huge artistic community all up and down the Front Range. And I am able to be with makers of all kinds.
Wow. I tell you something, working with hands is the best thing. And I got into recently, you're not going to believe this, into gardening. I'm doing gardening now. I would never believe that I would get into gardening. And it actually is really pleasing and pleasant. So it's always something, always working with your hands.
It's
So
rewarding, isn't it?
it's very rewarding. I love it. And it's always to see it's gratifying when you see the results at the end. It's great working with your hands that you can produce that or any kind of that. It's always good. So at this piece, I like to keep this portion of our show. I like to keep as like the golden nugget or piece of information that I would like you to wow our audience. Is there any valuable information that can help any business owners become better business persons, or any information they can leave behind?
Yes, I think the single biggest thing I can share with you is that if you are inspired to write a book, start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, or in some other way, you are being driven to a point where you know you need to share your message in a slightly different way than what you've done in the past, please do it. If you are out to share your story, then I highly recommend that you do that. That inspiration is hitting you because there is somebody out there that needs what you have to offer. So the golden nugget is really just when you are inspired to share a message of some kind and it's a little nervous for you, it's a little uncomfortable, please realize that what's driving that is you are the person that has a system, a tip, or a technique on how you have solved that problem. And there are people out there waiting for that answer.
Wow, well, that's excellent. Thank you for that valuable piece of information. Now, tell us a little bit about, do you belong to any organizations or group that has helped you grow your business?
Actually, it's just been a variety of network marketing sorts of businesses. I think one of the best things I ever did was back when I was 18 to 21, I was a Mary Kay representative. And I used to run around with my pink cases and all that. And I learned the value of networking, not necessarily within industry or status of a certain organization, but I learned that networking as a whole was important and that you continue to show up to those meetings. So no is the answer. I don't belong to any specific organization. But what really has helped me grow my business has been the relationships that I had with other business owners through networking. And sometimes I think people forget that when you go to these networking organizations or online, just realize those aren't your customers. They can become your customers. Don't sell to other business owners. Just let them know what you do and then ask them if what you do and what they do can have some sort of synergistic effect. That has been the single best thing I've ever done for my business.
Now, thank you. Wow, that's amazing. Now, tell us, you come to Wow recently, and can you tell us some of the stories from Wow that has impacted your business?
I think the best thing that I can share with people is the fact that I came to WOW seeking authors because I own a broadcast company and we're always looking for, we have certain projects that we write books on, and I'm an author myself. And so I had book number 12 that I was writing and I needed authors. And it was amazing the outpouring of support and assistance that I had as various business owners stepped up and said, well, I've written a book or I've written a book. And then they started getting me in touch with their clients and other people in their world that also were authors. So all I can say is that when you come to WOW, if you are very specific in your need and you can communicate that under 6 seconds, people in this community will fall over backwards to help you with that, especially when you let them know, look, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. This is how much I charge. This is what they get in return. Can you help me? And I have received nothing but support and help and assistance. I can't say enough about WOW.
Wow. Well, wow. I'm like, you're wowing me every day, all the time. You know, you're really wowing me all the time. I'm like, every time I talk to you, I'm like, wow. Um, so wow, it's just truly amazing. So tell us about your services, the service that you offer. I know you spoke a little bit about it. Tell us a little bit more about your services and what do you do for businesses?
Well, the business that I run that puts food on the table is I have a broadcasting company and we service people that have money but not time. So if you want to start a radio show or a podcast, or you're a speaker and you're seeking to have radio time, we can help put you on pretty much every radio station in the United States. And so if you're interested, we can help you. We have different packages. So like I said, we help people that have money but not time. However, if you're interested on some of my online courses or some of the books that I offer, that's where I get it. I help do-it-yourselfers. Because we are a concierge service, not everybody can afford that. So I have books like Author Podcasting, How to Take Your Book on a Virtual Tour. Guess what? That works for business owners too. How to take your business on a virtual tour. So if you're wondering how to break in to the audio media through podcasting and broadcasting, that book might be of some assistance to you.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and tell us, Janine, what's the best way that the listeners can contact you?
Well, I have what's called an open coffee every Friday at 9 a.m. and that you can pop on whenever you can get there. You leave whenever you have to. But I'm on for a full hour on Zoom, and you can sign up at the8gates.com/Open Friday Coffee. And if that's a little too much for you, then you're always welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm under Janine Bolon.
Well, thank you so much, Janine. And that's all for our episode for the WOW podcast. And I hope you enjoy our special guest story today as much as we enjoyed it. And keep on checking for the channel for more inspiring stories and discuss to help you in your business grow. And if you'd like to become a member of Winning on Wednesday, you just simply go to winningonwednesday.com and scroll to the first time guest and you follow the directions. And we hope to see you in the next meeting. Janine, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Juan.